It's been a few weeks since we spoke about South Korea and the United States. Of course, a spanner well and truly thrown into the works when it comes to the Hyundai LG battery plant that is currently under construction in the state of Georgia. Of course, a lot of South Korean workers were over in the US to help build it, but they pretty much all got deported back to South Korea. We've already covered that extensively here on the channel. And since then, Trump relatively has been kind of nice to the South Korean regime, trying to basically say, oh yeah, so I don't want to say sorry publicly because that's admitting fault, but let's try and sort this out basically. But despite that, and kind of a change really when it comes to that, Hyundai has been given the cold shoulder treatment by the Trump regime recently. Here's why. Let's have a look at what's happened here, guys. Hyundai Motor Group Executive Chair Yoo-sun Chung hoped that the automaker could appease the Trump administration with a series of aggressive moves to deepen its ties to the United States. However, it's not quite worked out that way. And after the largest raid in ICE history, where over 300 Korean workers were shackled and deported back to their homeland, it seems as though Hyundai has miscalculated what's going on here. And this all comes as South Korea is trying to get a trade deal on the table, get a trade deal that would reduce the tariffs that are currently in place on the country, similar to what the European Union, the UK and Japan already have with the US. But as of the time of recording, South Korea still have some work to finalise. And this all comes as well as Chung is really trying to grow the presence of Hyundai and their sister brand Kia as well in the United States. Kia and Hyundai have really been making inroads in the West in general. Their reputation has very much gone up, helped of course by the fact that their warranties are so good and their cars are relatively good for the price that you pay for them. Personally, I drive a Kia and I absolutely love it. I know a lot of my friends are the same who also drive Kias and Hyundais. But getting back to the US now. And again, another move that Hyundai very much tried to do to try and woo the Trump administration was that they donated $1 million to the inauguration of the president for the start of his second term. And weeks later, Hyundai hosted Donald Trump Jr. and his daughter, Torrey Pines, at the Pro-Am event at the PGA tournament named after the automaker's luxury sedan. And of course, on a massive scale as well, Hyundai are really investing in the US. They have pledged $21 billion into the US in terms of facilities and factories like the Savannah, Georgia one. But despite all that, when the tariffs came in, Hyundai was not spared. No one was really, to be honest with you, when it came to foreign automakers. But despite that, Hyundai have still been on the charm offensive. They are planning to move production of a popular SUV from Mexico to Alabama in the US. And has also pledged to source more of the components for these cars, more of the parts for them within the United States rather than importing them from other nations. But despite all of that, all the turmoil, Chung is still committed to growing the brand in America. But the question has to be asked, what is going to happen next? Is there going to be another setback along the way? Is there going to be another bump in the road? This tariff deal very much is getting them probably quite nervous about this. What are they going to do if something isn't signed? What are they going to do if they don't get as favourable terms as other countries like Japan? Of course, Japan is a massive competitor for South Korea. If they're getting an advantage in the United States in terms of the tariffs that are placed on their cars, that is something that Korea is going to struggle to be able to compete with. We know how good the Japanese are when it comes to making cars cheaply and efficiently. It's just what they do. So yeah, interesting stuff, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What is the future of US-Korean relations going to be? South Korea, that is. We're not talking about North Korea. That's a whole different story. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. As always, have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world today, and we'll see you very soon.